Hello everyone, welcome to this new initiative of RAS Utkarsh, the English medium channel, which is going to cater to the needs of English medium students who have less accessibility to proper English content. My name is Pooja and I will help you through many subjects. Specifically, I am going to teach you current affairs on a daily basis from 8:30 to 9:30. Make sure that you're present every day, and this is my responsibility and the responsibility of the entire Utkarsh team to ensure that you get quality content. You get quality content which is important for your examination. So today we are going to talk about many important events that are going to reflect in your examination of RAS. The dreams that you have for, going through the RAS examination, achieving and conquering the RAS examination, you have dreamt, and it is our responsibility to fulfill your dream. So without any further delay, let me just give you a gist how we are going to take you through these classes. First of all, we are going to, on a daily basis, give you certain news, and with relevance to that news, we are going to give you MCQs. The MCQs are highly relevant to the current pattern. That means whatever pattern is being followed by RAS when it comes to questions for your examination in current affairs and the rest of the subjects as well, we are going to follow that pattern. So once you see the news, once you memorize the news, once you understand the news, I will give you all the important relevant material for that. You have to practice it, and thereafter we will be able to know what is your standing. If you have already read it, what is your standing in that MCQ? Okay, so good morning Sakshi, I hope you are doing well. Let's move on and talk about the various events. First of all, we are going to look at fairs of Rajasthan, specifically the Lakhi festival, which was recently conducted, and it is happening for Shitla Mata. And also Lakhi festival and Phool Dol fair, these kind of fairs of Rajasthan, the cultures of Rajasthan is very rich as we know it. So the culture of Rajasthan must be promoted, of course, in order to show the diversity of India. Wherever you belong from, you belong to Rajasthan, you must know the fairs, the culture, the kind of stages your particular states goes through. So that is why it is important for you to make sure that you know about the culture of Rajasthan. So let's talk about the fairs. Recently on Shitla Saptami or Ashtami, a 2-day Lakhi festival has been organized where at Shitla Mata temple. This temple is very famous. It is one of the Shakti Peeth for the Sanehi sect, and that is why it is important for us to know. Different sects of Rajasthan are specifically important for your examination because Rajasthan is so diverse. It's so diverse in nature. That is why we must respect the diversity that exists in Rajasthan. So that is why Sanehi sect has this very beautiful Shakti Peeth by the name of Shitla Mata, and Shitla Mata has been in remembrance for the Sanehi sect. And there are so many aspects that could be asked from this particular, you can say, news. You can be asked about what is the caste of the priest that performs the puja over here, and other things as well. You can be asked about the founder of the Sanehi sect. So these kind of questions could be asked in your examination. That is why we must be prepared for it. Okay, and this temple is located where? Because temple locations are also asked. So it is located on Shil Dungri in Jaipur Chaksu. Okay, let's move ahead and talk about every year what happens, because rituals are important. Once you know the rituals, we will be able to understand what is the significance of it. So first we have to know the ritual. Every year on Saptami and Ashtami of Chaitra Krishna Paksh, which is according to the Hindu calendar. According to the Hindu calendars, we have light and dark pakshas. So we have the Chaitra Krishna Paksh. On the Chaitra Krishna Paksh, on the Saptami and the Ashtami, what happens? Cold food is prepared a day before and it is offered to Shitla Mata, and this is also known as Basyoda. Okay, Basyoda, remember that. Then if we talk about why is it done so, it is done in order to save the people from smallpox. It is believed that if one eats this cold food, which has been offered to Shitla Mata, then it can save you from smallpox. Save one from smallpox. So if you do suffer from these kind of conditions, or if you want to avoid these kind of conditions, what can happen? You can eat this cold food which is prepared and offered to Shitla Mata on Saptami and Ashtami, then you will be saved from smallpox. And this offering, this cold offering, is known as Basyoda. Sometimes these kind of questions are asked, that is why it is important for you to know it. Okay, so Shitla Mata's vehicle is actually a donkey, which is known as Gadarbha. And the priest that I mentioned, who is the priest? What is the priest's caste that performs the puja over here? He belongs to the potter caste. He or she belongs to the potter caste. So these kind of very small but larger than life information has to be known. Then only you will be able to understand the true nature. Good morning, Ankit. It's so nice to know that this is true in nature, and I hope you are having fun in this class, because that is what we are going to do. We are going to learn many things with lots of fervor and fun. We will make sure that current affairs is not something that we should be afraid of. We should embrace it with open arms. Okay, so Phool Dol Mahotsav, let's know about this. This was organized at Ramdwara, which is located in Shahpura, Bhilwara. Another important fair, that is Phool Dol. So you must know about Phool Dol as well. Why? Because again, it's a part of culture of Rajasthan. A fair is a part of culture. Culture is diverse in Rajasthan. That is why we must respect every culture and know about it. Now, there is a major peeth of Ram Sanehi sect in Shahpura. And the Phool Dol Mahotsav was organized from 25th to 30th of March, and it was organized from Fagun Shukla Ekadashi to Chaitra Shukla Chhat in Ramdwara of Shahpura. Something that is to be known about the Pakshas. Some Pakshas are very strongly touched upon because they are supposed to be extremely religious in nature, they are extremely spiritual in nature. That is why Rajasthan PCS can also ask you from which to which Paksh this goes on. Okay, so you remember that it is organized from Fagun Shukla Ekadashi to Chaitra Shukla Chhat in Ramdwara of Shahpura. And this is also known as Prahlad Charitra, as in a book was read by the name of Prahlad Charitra, a small book. This is a small book. And this is in the Guru Granth, small book, Guru Granth Anabhavani of Ram Sanehi sect. And if we talk about it being it being so important for the Ram Sanehi sect, we must also know that Ram Sanehi, who is the founder of Ram Sanehi sect, other important Shakti Peeths, everything can be asked about. Okay, so remember the Chaitras, because Chaitras are specifically asked. Phool Dol Mahotsav, and this Phool Dol Mahotsav is actually held at a major peeth. Shakti Peeths are those kind of areas which are revered by any particular religious group. They consider these Shakti Peeths to be the main source of power. So whenever we know about the main source of powers, we will be able to understand the religious significance of it. So for Hinduism, there are many Shakti Peeths. For different kind of religious groups as well, we have many Shakti Peeths. So we consider these areas to be spiritually very strong in nature. Whenever you are visiting any kind of Shakti Peeth, you will be able to gather a lot of courage from that place, a lot of religious significance from that place. Okay, so let's move on and talk about main peeth of the Ram Sanehi sect. Shahpura is the main peeth, and of course Ram Charanji is the founder of Ram Sanehi sect. Ram Charanji is considered as an incarnation of devotee Prahlad. If you remember, who is Prahlad? Prahlad was the son of Raja Hiranyakashyap, and Raja Hiranyakashyap took so much pride in being a Raja. He considered that everybody should revere him and nobody else. So devotee Prahlad was of the mindset that I am not going to revere you, I am going to revere Vishnu, Narayan Vishnu. And because of that, Raja Hiranyakashyap, he was very upset that his own son is not going to pay any sort of homage to him. And that is why he tried time and again to kill the devotee Prahlad. What happens after that? Of course, the devotee Prahlad ensured that Narayana, in the form of Narsingadev, he could kill Raja Hiranyakashyap, because Raja Hiranyakashyap had this particular boon. He couldn't be killed on a day or in a night. He couldn't be killed somewhere outside or the inside. So there were many loopholes that were there for Raja Hiranyakashyap. But when Narsingadev, of course, he came to the fore, he ensured that he killed Raja Hiranyakashyap. And of course, we all know how Holika put Prahlad, devotee Prahlad, on her lap. She had this particular boon that she would never be burnt. But she eventually burned, and devotee Prahlad was of course saved. So this is the beauty of our Hindu culture, that we know how things work, and that is why Ram Snehi sect is related to Shahpura, remember the major peeth, and also Ram Charanji, who is an incarnation of course Prahlad, the devotee Prahlad. He is considered to be the founder of it. Okay. Now rain is another Shakti Peeth of what? Of Daryav ji. Then Singhatal, Hari Ram Das ji. Khedapa, Ram Das ji. Okay, so remember, these kind of questions can be asked. You have to match the columns. These kind of match the following questions can be asked, so make sure that you know these particular matches. Now, a previous year questions can be asked. Previous year question can show us the scope from where questions can be asked in your RAS. So here you see, describe the main features of fairs and festivals of Rajasthan. So of course you have to mention the fairs first, and then from there you have to write down what kind of rituals are undertaken, who performs the puja. For example, if you take the example of Shitla Mata Lakhi festival, then you can write about the Lakhi festival in such manners that first of all you will mention the festival's name, Lakhi festival. Okay, first that, how you are going to write this. This is a festival that happens at Sheetla Devi temple. You will mention the temple. Mention the temple first, and you will mention the location of it as well. Okay, mention the location, because you have to write the features, right? Then you will write the religious significance, of the temple. Then you will also write the rituals conducted, For example, here you can write about potter caste priest. Then you can also write cold offering of food, which is known as Basyoda. And why is it important? To prohibit or to prevent smallpox. These kind of interrelated things can be written down. And with the help of this particular process, you can ensure that you are writing in a calm and composed and structured manner. And the previous year questions are must. If you have to ensure that you are able to succeed in your RAS, you must look at the previous year questions, because on that basis only you will be able to study for the further course of period. Okay, so look, Lakhi festival, you can write about that. Then you have Phool Dol festival also. Phool Dol festival can be asked specifically as well, because it's a big festival for the Ram Snehi sect. The Ram Snehi sect is related to Shahpura. The Ram Snehi sect has been founded by whom? You have to write that as well, such as Ram Charanji, who is considered a reincarnation of devotee Prahlad. We all know what devotee Prahlad's story is, and everything else can be asked. The very small parts of the questions, the very small parts of the information that can be asked in your prelims examination has to be also put in your mains examination. So you have to holistically prepare for this examination in a very comprehensive manner. Moving on, let's talk about another practice question. You can comment briefly on the following. That means you can write briefly on the following, such as Shitla Mata Lakhi fair. You can write a short answer on this. Probably if you have to write 50 words, of course it's going to be half a page. Then you will write about Phool Dol fair. So these kind of two things, like short questions can be asked and a longer question can be asked. Short question comprises of 50 words, so you can write about these in a very structured and bulleted format. Now let's talk about Har Krishna Culture Center. What is it? Let's talk about it. A state of the art. State of the art means it has all the technology that it can. A state of the art temple and cultural sector which has the name of Har Krishna Culture Center. It is being constructed where? It is being constructed in Jagatpura, Jaipur. Remember where it is being constructed? Jagatpura, Jaipur. And why is it being constructed? The objective is to make sure that the society is reformed, because it is going to show the culture of the particular place. Whenever we want to ensure the society respects any place, we have to show the historical significance of it. And this Har Krishna Cultural Center is going to do that only. Let's move on and talk about other things. It is going to be built on a 6-acre land. 6 acre, that is going to be huge in nature. And the construction, the architecture will be a happy blend of medieval and modern Rajasthan. It will show medieval and modern Rajasthan, the architecture. Remember, because a question can be asked that only modern section will be shown in this particular cultural sector. No, both medieval and modern sector, both can be asked. Okay, the objective, if we talk about what is the objective, to revolutionize the society, to transform and revolutionize the society. This is the particular objective of it. Now, let's talk about this particular question. According to Rajasthan Budget 2021-2022, in which district will FinTech Digital University be established? Sikar, Ajmer, Jaipur or Jodhpur? Now, you have to answer me in the comment section, because this is actually a previous year question. RAS Prelims 2021 asked us this question, that which, according to Rajasthan budget, you have to also remember the budget, 2021-22, in which district will FinTech Digital University be established? This was a question in RAS Prelims 2021. So tell me, 2021-22, this was the question. If anybody can please comment in the comment section, then we can be interactive in nature as well. Please comment in the comment section the correct answer of it. You can also take a guess, not a problem with that. So Ankit, Beena, UPSC, then Incognito, Utkarsh itself is there. So please tell me in the comment section that what is going to be the correct answer over here. Anybody who wants to take an initiative is welcomed. Please do comment really quick, because I'm so excited to interact with you all. So please tell me the correct answer to this. You can be really quick, just take a guess, or you can even search from Google. That's not a problem, at least you are going to learn. So the correct answer to this will be C. The correct answer to this will be Jodhpur. Okay, D is the correct option. Dance with Rajasthan, Jaipur, because we were talking about FinTech University. So the correct answer is that. Now let's talk about where is Har Krishna Culture Center being constructed. Jaipur, Udaipur, Jodhpur or Kota? Let's see the correct answer. Let's see the correct answer. Let's see the correct answer to this. I have taught it already. Let's see the correct answer to this. For this, what is the correct answer? Jaipur, Udaipur, Jodhpur, Kota. Tell me the correct answer for this. Please, guys, thank you so much for answering. Sakshi says it's A. Yes, Sakshi is correct. Other guys, please do answer to this question. I recently told you where the Har Krishna Cultural Center is going to be established. So please tell me the correct answer to this. Sakshi has only answered. I want others to answer as well. Whatever comes in your mind, please do tell me. Even if you're wrong, we are going to correct you. That's not a problem. You just have to answer first. Sakshi has said Jaipur. The correct answer to this will be, I want others as well to interact. The correct answer to this is going to be yes, Jaipur. We have already seen that it is going to be Har Krishna Cultural Center over here. We have seen and commented properly that it is going to be in Jagatpura, Jaipur. So the correct answer to this question will be Jagatpura, Jaipur, because RAS asks one word questions basically most of the time. So most of the time we have to ensure that we know the correct answer. The correct answer is Jaipur. Okay, now let's move forward and talk about the next one. Only Sakshi has answered, not a problem. I want others also to join in, because then only we can help this class to be very interactive in nature. I really love interacting with students when it comes to comment section. So make sure you watch that. Kota's first rural tourism unit. Now, what do you mean by rural tourism? Nowadays, many kinds of tourisms are coming in. So rural tourism is tourism that is going to show the rural area of any region. Rural tourism. Because our rural areas are a very happy blend of different cultures. So Rajasthan is going to show you that as well. So what is rural tourism? Any tourism that shows the culture of rural areas is rural tourism. And biggest question is, why do we need it? Why do we need it? First of all, we need it because it will show the diversity of India. This is kind of a mains practice question. It will show the diversity and culture of India. Another thing, it is going to create employment. It is going to create a lot of employment because people will be there who will be employed on a basis of tour guides. Some may open small shops for selling their things. Other than this, they can also help the people over there to get their own industry, some kind of shops that are going to help them develop their own geographical indication objects. So these kind of things will also be there. Also, if people will get employment where they are posted, where they actually live, for people of Rajasthan, specifically in Kota, if rural tourism goes up, then people need not to move from their place of origin to other places for employment. So what will happen over here? There will be an issue, there will not be an issue of regional imbalance. Whenever employment industries will be created pan-India on a balanced basis, it will also counter regional imbalance, because people are not moving anywhere else. They are not getting concentrated in big metropolitan cities, but cities where they belong to. So whenever they are going to be employed in the cities where they belong to, they will give rise to industries. That means a balanced development will also take place. Other thing is that it will become economically sustainable. This is also a very good thing. Economically sustainable, because tourism sector is a sector which is a blast in India, and Rajasthan is one of those states which contributes a lot in the tourism sector. That is why India wants to ensure that if we do specific area wise development, on an average what we will get, a boost in tourism. Pan India can show its own capabilities, its own cultures, its own history, its own diversity, and with this people will get their own recognition as well. Whenever we go out, we are Indians actually, but if somebody knows our locality based on our culture, that is something very great, because we feel a belongingness with that particular identity. That is why it is important for people to know their identity. It will boost confidence of people in their own culture, and identity. These are the kind of things that rural tourism is going to definitely get. One thing more that I would like to add over here, a lot of hue and cry was going on about slum tourism. Many outsiders and foreigners who were interested in knowing how the slum culture works in India, they used to tour the slums of India, specifically Dharavi. And Dharavi, because it is the biggest slum we have ever known in India, of course, and that makes this particular slum very attractive for people to know that what kind of people live there, what kind of livelihoods they have, what kind of day-to-day routine do they do. So people get very enthused and intrigued that people can live this way as well. So it used to promote a lot of tourism for slum. So what happens, that there was a lot of hue and cry why these tourists have to go to the slum area, because they were interested in knowing about the culture of slums. But the problem here is that gets highlighted on India's part, in the international media, only that part is highlighted, that we are such a poor nation, we do not know how to lift people out of poverty. So that kind of an issue is there, which is an issue of narrative. India has already burdened itself with this issue of narrative that we are a very poor country. So whenever a country who is developing in nature, who has done a lot to uplift the population out of poverty, gets really intimidated when slum tourism or other kind of these kind of tourisms do exist. But rural tourism is not a problem because it shows the culture, the diversity. That is why. Let's move on and talk about this particular Kota's first rural tourism unit. It has been developed on 65 bighas of land, where in Dhabri Kalan, Kota. So remember Dhabri Kalan, because these kind of questions are asked, one word kind of questions are asked. I have already told you, one word kind of questions, whenever they are asked, you must know that you have to revise it on a proper basis. So it is on 65 bighas of land. Remember this, because this could also be asked. And this is Kota's, remember another thing, this is Kota's first rural tourism unit, and it has been developed in Dhabri Kalan, where Kota, of course, and it is spread over 65 bighas. Why do we say 65 bighas here? Because fact based questions are also asked a lot. So make sure that if it is asked on 80 bighas or 100 bighas, you have to remember it's 65 bighas, and the destination is amidst the fields of village. That means what kind of field system exists in a village. Is there any sort of culture that supports what we are supporting? We are such an agriculture based country. We have to show that yes, we are secured in our own food security economy. So that is why, from the perspective of economy as well, from the perspective of agriculture as well, someday it may happen that the agriculture sector of all over the world gets impacted, but India's doesn't. There are practices that in these different regions of Rajasthan, agricultural practices exist where we know how to get crops cultivated, how to get crops harvested, even if we do not have a lot of water, how to grow less water incentive crops. These kind of practices could also get encouraged with this particular rural tourism. So there are a lot of aspects. It has a swimming pool and stone huts, which gives an introduction to Hadoti, which is an administrative unit of Bundi district. Bundi administrative region. This was also a part of the Bundi dynasty. Remember, Bundi dynasty. Alright, so you have to remember that these kind of questions are asked. That is why I am pointing out to you. Alright, moving on. To promote Hadoti's art, culture, historical palaces, costumes and tourism, what kind of information will be given about Kota Doria? Informations of these areas will be given to the tourists. Kota Doria, Sangod Ka Nahan, they will also have a visit to Mukundra Tiger Reserve and Shergarh, also Gagrao and Sorsa. So these kind of small but larger perspective questions can be asked. First of all, from the prelims perspective, facts can be asked. From the perspective of mains examination, I have already told you what is rural tourism, what does rural tourism do, why is it important. Okay, this question, a question can be asked, what is the need of rural tourism. So let's talk about this particular question, which is for your practice. It's a previous year question, and I want all of you who are watching to make sure that you answer it. The sentence included in the logo of Rajasthan tourism is Rangilo Rajasthan, who knows what will be seen. कौन जाने क्या दिख जाए. Then we have Rajasthan ro dil dekh. Then scenic Rajasthan. This is a previous year prelims question of 2016. So please do comment in the comment section so that we can interact. What is the logo that is seen on the Rajasthan tourism? And you have to tell me in the comment section so that I can interact with you all. Any guesses are also included, as in any guesses if you want to do. You have to do it with open hearts. Do not worry if you are telling me wrong. I will tell you the correct answer for this. Make sure only Sakshi has answered up till now. I want others to answer as well. Please do answer the correct answer to this. Actually, who knows what will be seen? Kaun jane kya dikh jaye? Okay, this is seen on the logo. So the correct answer will be option B. Alright, let's move on and talk about the next one. At which place in Kota the first rural tourism unit has been developed on 65 bighas and it is going to show the culture of Hadoti. So these kind of questions can also be asked. It's built on 65 bighas of land. Then this is Kota's first unit, you have to remember that. It is going to show the cultural aspects of Hadoti, which is of course and was a part of the Bundi dynasty or Bundi kingdom. These kind of questions are also asked. So tell me the correct answer to this. What will be? Ramganj, Sangod, Kaithun, Dabri Kalan. What is the correct answer? Only Sakshi has answered it correctly up till now. The correct answer to this is yes, Sakshi, you are definitely correct. It's Dabri Kalan. Alright, let's move on and talk about the next question. Next news, actually not the question. On a national level, we are going to talk about Mushkbudji rice. Mushkbudji rice is a very famous rice from Kashmir, and this has also gotten a geographical indication tag in the year 2023. So remember, this is a geographical indication carrying commodity. Geographical indication tag. It got it when? In 2023. I will also write it down there. So it got a geographical indication tag. This is a rice, a variety, kind of rice. So it could be asked in your prelims examination. The Mushkbudji recently seen in the news. What is it? It is a variety of rice which is found in the Kashmiri Himalayas specifically. Let's talk about it. Recently what has happened, that many scientists who belong to the Sher-e-Kashmir University of Sciences and Agricultural Technology, Srinagar, they said that the thickness and length of the rice is dependent upon the altitude and the temperature. That means the higher you reach on an altitude, the temperature goes down. So this particular group of scientists have said that the Mushkbudji rice, which is a very special aromatic rice, it is short and thick. It is short and thick, remember that, and that is due to the height or the altitude, and because of that, the kind of temperature that exists there has a physical implementation or a physical implication on this particular rice. So remember that. Remember two things, temperature and altitude. These two have affected the length and the breadth of the rice. So this is short and thick. Remember how it is, very short, small and thick. It is a traditional and aromatic variety of rice. That means through generations people are consuming this rice, and this is an aromatic. That means it has a very beautiful smell and taste. That is why we have to remember about it, that it belongs to where? Kashmiri Himalayas. Srinagar scientists have said it, that due to the particular altitude and temperature, it is short and thick. I am trying to repeat what I am saying. Why? Because it gets lodged in your brains. Now, it is grown at an altitude of 5,000 to 7,000 feet. Remember, feet, not meters, not kilometers. What we have to remember here, feet, because RAS can confuse you by putting meters or something like that. So remember, 5,000 to 7,000 feet in the Kashmir Himalayas, and it was not doing very well. It was not doing very well because of certain reasons. It was on the verge of extinction. Why? Because of the rice blast disease. Rice blast disease took place. So it started dying down. First that, it had low yield capacity. What is low yield capacity? The kind of input farmers were putting in getting these crops up, that kind of yielding was not done. So if I am putting an input for 10 kg of rice, this particular Mushkbudji rice, I was getting only 5 kg. So it has a low yield capacity. Another problem here was it had low commercial value. Back then it had very low commercial value. People were not making a lot of money by selling this particular rice. That is why they stopped it. Okay, they did not want to do it on a continuous basis because they were not getting anything in return. But in 2007, a program was started by the same university, the university that I mentioned, from where the scientists have gotten this research that temperature and altitude matters to the thickness and length of this particular rice. They started a program and they brought it back from the verge of extinction. So remember that. The scientist by SCUAST, Sher-e-Kashmir University of Agriculture, Science and Technology. Alright. Now, this is a previous year question. I am sure Sakshi is going to answer, but I want other people should also answer. So please do answer to this question. Nabi MG is a variety of wheat, a variety of barley, a variety of maize or a variety of millet. Millet, which is also known as Shri Anna, the Mota Anaj, because Rajasthan doesn't have the facility of proper monsoon. So here we see the growth of many millets, bajra, ragi, etc., etc. This is also known as Shri Anna. Please do tell me the correct answer to this, that what is Nabi MG, because this is a previous year question that is required of you to answer this question, because if you know this question you will be able to answer it if you have read it properly. So please, Sakshi and others who are watching, please do answer this question. A variety of wheat, it is a variety of barley, a variety of maize, or is it a variety of millet? Please do answer in the comment section. I am waiting for you all. Okay, if you do not want to, if you're too shy, let me answer this question for you. It is a variety of wheat. Option A is going to be correct over here. Again, if any question is asked, this is a previous year question from 2021. This is a practice question for you. Please do answer this one, because I have told you time and again what kind of questions can be asked. So Mushkbudji, which was in discussion recently, is a variety of which of the following crop? I am sure you can answer this one, because this is one of the easiest questions that has been asked today. It is a rice, a coconut, a jute, or a sugar cane. Tell me in the comment segment at an immediate basis, on an immediate basis. Sakshi, where are you? All the people who are watching, please do answer this question. We will be able to continue the classes in a very interactive mode if you want to. We will be extremely interactive. So please do answer this question. What is the correct answer to this? I have told you this is a kind of dash. Yes, Sakshi has answered it correctly. It is actually a rice, Mushkbudji, and it has got a geographical indication tag in the year 2023 only. Geographical indication tag. When? 2023. And what does it do? If any kind of commodity which is man-made or even natural, if it originates in a particular area and it has certain or specific qualities that is due to the place of origin, then it can get a geographical indication. Supposedly, a fruit is grown. It could be a mango or an apple. It is belonging to a particular place, and because of the belongingness of that community to that particular place, the kind of soil, the kind of climate gets this particular fruit very sweet taste. That kind of taste is not found anywhere else for any of the species of that fruit. Then I can say that yes, this is eligible for geographical indication, because the geography of that place gives the quality to that commodity. That is why it can be a geographical indication commodity. Geographical indication commodity can be natural or man-made. That means it can be either by nature, that any commodity exists there, or it can be man-made as well. Namaste JB Motivation Speaker, how are you? Let's move on and talk about the next one. Important apps of Election Commission. Now, Election Commission has said that we want complete voting. That means whoever is eligible for voting in the country for Lok Sabha election, we are going to make sure that they are voting, because voting is a duty. And Election Commission is maintaining many apps for it. They want 100% voting for the upcoming elections. So they are maintaining a gist of and a list of apps. Through those particular digital apps, they are going to keep a tab upon how much voting has been done. And if there are certain problems in voting, that will also be corrected. So if I talk about the Election Commission is actually a constitutional body. Certain things have to be kept in mind. Election Commission, what is it? It is established according to Article 324 of the Indian Constitution, right? That makes it what? A constitutional body. and it is responsible for superintendence, direction, you have to remember these keywords, and control of elections in the country, specifically elections for parliament. It conducts election for state legislatures, and it conducts elections for office of president and office of vice president, right? Office of president and office of vice president. And it was establishment happened on 25th of January, remember that, 25th of January 1950. This is the date and year of establishment for Election Commission. And 25th of January is celebrated as National Voters Day. Remember that as well. It is celebrated as National Voters Day. So not only the Constitution of India gives its power to give the Election Commission the powers to conduct, direct and control the election process, but also the Representation of People's Act 1951, and both the Indian Constitution and the RPA of 1951 gives a lot of motivation to the Election Commission that you have to conduct, superintend and have control over the elections. So this is what we have to know about the Election Commission. Alright, moving on to the other parts of it, what kind of different apps it has developed. First, of course, the C-Vigil app. What is the C-Vigil app? Whenever you hear vigil, that means we have to keep surveillance over certain candidates. So if we talk about the C-Vigil app, C-Vigil basically, if I have to put it into words, it gives the voters have the power to complain to the Election Commission about any reservation, misgivings or mishappenings, about any corruption, about any corrupt practices, about any corrupt practices. Through audio and video format, audio and or video format. This is for C-Vigil. That means if any person is going to complain to the Election Commission, they can use the C-Vigil app, they can record it, they can record the audio or the video and upload it on the C-Vigil app. Within 100 minutes, it is promised by the Election Commission that this particular event of corruption will be investigated upon and all the issues that are pertaining to the complaint will be taken care of. This is the C-Vigil app and it has been developed by whom? It has been developed by the Election Commission. So remember this. Another one is e-Suvidha, not e-Suvidha but Suvidha app. What does Suvidha app want to do? Suvidha app helps the candidates to file nomination papers and affidavits, to file nomination papers and affidavits and choose a time slot to meet the returning officer, For what? For physical verification. Supposedly I want to, you know, participate in an upcoming election. I want to nominate myself. I will download the Suvidha app, which has been developed by the Election Commission of India, and I will file my nomination papers on an online format along with the affidavits that are needed. Then I will pick a slot that on this particular date of this year I am going to meet the returning officer on this particular time so that they can physically verify me. And this is an ease for me to file my nomination papers without any sort of hindrance, any sort of, bribing. So this is a really good thing. Alright, so physical verification is done later on. Now we have the Saksham app. What is the Saksham app? The Saksham app actually helps the physically challenged people, physically challenged citizens of India, remember, physically challenged citizens of India, to book a wheelchair on the day of voting. That means it gives rise to inclusion, gives rise to inclusivity. Even if you are disabled, you must not, give up on your duty of voting in the election. This has also been developed by whom? The Election Commission of India. Thereafter, we have the Know Your Candidate app. What is the Know Your Candidate app? This allows the citizens to know the background of the candidate that they might be voting for. This, remember, this allows the citizens to know the background of a candidate who is participating in elections that means that they can also know about the criminal background. They can also know about the criminal background of the students, of the candidates, criminal backgrounds of the candidates, so that they can make an informed choice. This gives rise to what? This gives rise to Article 19 of the Indian Constitution. How it gives rise to Article 19 of the Indian Constitution? Because Article 19 gives me the freedom of expression, right to express my feelings. If I want to express my vote, then I have the right to first of all know about the candidate. Then only I will be able to express my views on any person. If I have the right to know, then if I have the right to express in any election, I have the right to know first, then right to express. So that is why Article 19 is satisfied with the Know Your Candidate app, which has been developed by whom? By the Election Commission of India. Voter Turnout app is another app. What is the Voter Turnout app? Voter Turnout app helps the Election Commission actually. It helps the Election Commission only to track how many citizens have actually voted, in the elections. All right. So this is with the help of the Voter Turnout app. Now moving on, let's look at a previous year question that is going to help you to understand the scope of questions that can be asked from here. The 15th Lok Sabha elections have reviewed the importance of national political parties. You have to discuss this in 200 words. It was also an RAS mains examination question. It was actually a mains examination question for the year 2008. So what is the importance of national political parties? National political parties. What did you have to write over here? The features of it. Who are national political parties first of all? Then you also had to write the advantage of having national political parties. These are those political parties which are able to gather a lot of heft in different state legislative assembly elections. Other than this, we also have to know about the advantages of having as many national parties as we can. Sometimes we also in conclusion have to write upon the importance of regional parties over here. What is the importance of regional parties? That also has to be questioned, because regional parties, what do? They pick out the regional problems and support the regional problems on a national level. So whenever regional political parties are also, they get overshadowed by national political parties, what is the importance of having regional parties also? That could also be written in this particular answer, okay, in the following comments conclusion section. Now, which of the following apps has been developed by the Election Commission of India? Here an option D, all is also given, all of the above. So tell me in the comment section, C-Vigil app, Suvidha app, Saksham app, all of the above. Which of the following has been developed by the Election Commission of India? Those people who are watching, I have already gone through it. Please tell me in the comment section that which of the following apps has been developed or have been developed by the Election Commission of India. I have told you about the C-Vigil app, that if anybody has to complain in an audio video format about any corrupt practices, they can do it with the help of the C-Vigil app. Saksham app is going to help any disabled or physically challenged person to book a wheelchair on the day of voting. And then we have the Saksham app. The Saksham app, the Suvidha app, we have it with the help of this particular app. Any candidate can file nomination papers and affidavit, all right, for their candidature, and they can meet the returning officer on a particular date or time. So actually C-Vigil, Suvidha and Saksham, these all apps have been developed by the Election Commission of India. So Prerna, welcome to the class. Prerna has also answered it correctly. Sakshi has answered it correctly. Very good. All three have been developed by the Election Commission of India. Other than this, Know Your Candidate and Voter Turnout app, these also have been developed by the Election Commission of India. All right, let's move on and talk about the next question, next news. In the international arena, South China Sea has again become a very big flashpoint of dispute. So the Indian External Affairs Minister, he, of course, Dr. S. Jaishankar, they went to Philippines, Malaysia and Singapore. And these three countries have a lot of problem with China when it comes to the South China Sea. First of all, let us see what the South China Sea is. The South China Sea is basically a marginal sea of the Western Pacific Ocean. This is a marginal sea. Okay, remember that. Here it is. I'm going to underline it for you. This is the, here. It, first of all, you write, it is a marginal sea. I will tell you what a marginal sea is. Marginal sea of the Western Pacific Ocean. Okay, remember Western Pacific Ocean. I could have written Eastern. If I have to confuse you, I will write Eastern. So what is a marginal sea? A marginal sea is a small body of the main sea that is surrounded by land, okay, and it is connected to the bigger sea by any strait. Alright, so Gulf of Thailand is situated in the South China Sea. Gulf of Tonkin is situated in the South China Sea. Here is the Gulf of Tonkin. If any question comes where the Gulf of Tonkin and where the Gulf of Thailand is, you have to remember it is situated in the South China Sea. So the South China Sea is a marginal sea of the Western Pacific Ocean. The kind of dispute that exists over here is between China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, Brunei and many other countries as well. Indonesia also has certain parts to play in the South China Sea. South China Sea is actually claimed entirely. 90% of the South China Sea has been claimed by China with the help of 9-dash line map. This is the 9 dashes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9-dash line map is a map that is arbitrarily, that means one-sided, unilaterally by China, has been promoted to show that the South China Sea, which also includes many disputed regions such as the Spratly Islands, the Paracel Islands, the Scarborough Shoal, the Macclesfield Bank, all these are part of the South China Sea. So China says that through the 9-dash line, sometimes now it has also come up with the 10-dash line map, the entire South China Sea belongs to it. Here is the Luzon Strait, which connects whom? Which connects the South China Sea to the other parts of the sea. We also have the Taiwan Strait, which Taiwan Strait actually connects South China Sea to East China Sea, remember that. And we have the Luzon Strait, Luzon, here it is the Luzon Strait. Luzon Strait connects the South China Sea with the Philippines Sea. So you have to remember it, okay. With the Philippines Sea, we have Luzon Strait for South China Sea. With the help of the Taiwan Strait, the South China Sea is connected with the East China Sea. These kind of connecting questions can also be asked, so you have to remember it. So through the 9-dash line map, China says that the South China Sea is its national blue soil. So what is national blue soil? This is also a big question. National blue soil, it says that right now the soil is actually the territory, the region, the mainland area, but the waters of South China Sea is the blue soil. That means it is actually belonging to whom? To China in the water format. And China says that because of it being a part of China only, the entire islands, there are something 70 disputed regions in South China Sea which completely belong to China. But other nations also have claims over it. Philippines has a claim over it, Malaysia has a claim over it, we have Vietnam having a claim over it. So in Manila, near Manila Bay, with the help of Samudra Peheredar, India maintained a presence recently. The Indian Coast Guard, remember, with the help of Samudra Peheredar, remember, Samudra Peheredar is an exercise taken by the Indian Coast Guard. And the Indian Coast Guard was present at Manila Bay in Philippines. With this, India presented itself a good contender of the South China Sea. Why does India want the South China Sea to be open and prosperous? A very big reason is that more than, if we comprise of trade, if we say about trade, more than 55% of trade from Indian Ocean to Pacific Ocean takes place through the South China Sea. From Indian Ocean to Pacific Ocean takes place through the South China Sea. And South China Sea has many choke points over here and here, the Taiwan Strait, the Luzon Strait. If these are choked by China, choke points are those areas which are narrow body of water which can be constricted in such a way that no trade can pass through it, no people can pass through it. So China wants to take the advantage of claiming the Luzon Strait and the Taiwan Strait, saying that these are choke points that belong to us, and the Paracel Island, the Spratly Islands, over which many countries such as Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, they also have overlapping claims. So they say that South China Sea is ours as well because they belong to our exclusive economic zone. But China says, no buddy, it belongs to actually me and you do not have any sort of control over it. So India has this particular thing that if 55% of trade between Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean is passing through the South China Sea, then of course it has to be free and open. But China says that we do not say that, we do not want it to be free and open, this is ours. Currently actually there is a dispute that is going on between China and Philippines with respect to Second Thomas Shoal, and both the countries say that it belongs to us. Other thing is that there are maritime actions which are extremely aggressive that are being taken by Chinese Coast Guard. The Chinese Coast Guards do not let the fishermen and the coast guards of other countries to fray in this particular area. This is a big problem. Other thing is that Chinese Coast Guard, their forces claim that it was protecting the Chinese territorial waters. However, they were themselves in others' waters. Now, its agenda, basically India-Philippines foreign ministers meeting happened, and the agenda includes official and social activities. That means on a people-to-people level, also on the official level. Exchanges were there, which included professional exchange, cross-deck visits, joint exercise. Samudra Pehredar, I have already told you, in Manila Bay, we went through this. The External Affairs Minister says that India and Philippines should have a common goal in the South China Sea. Environmental, security-wise, if we have to explore fisheries, and if you have to know why is China claiming this region, is because of its many things. First of all, if we talk about South China Sea, it is first of all rich in minerals and energy, and any country which has a hold over South China Sea will be exploring this mineral and energy. Trade takes place through this region. So they want to ensure that the 55% trade that takes place through the region, freights and tolls should be connected by China. This is what China wants. Other thing is that from the security perspective, security in case of any war between China and Taiwan, or other countries, China will have an upper hand. Other thing is that if China is able to maintain control over the South China Sea, it will be able to control the entire Pacific region. So, Indo-Pacific region, which is supposed to be free and open for trade related activities, for disaster management activities, for security related activities, these become open for a lot of disputes. That is why this South China Sea is very important. Okay, not only for minerals resources, but also for security and war-like situations if they ever arise. Now, right now we are moving ahead with challenge addressing between India and Philippines. We have marine pollution, this is a big challenge. Fisheries, environmental protection is a challenge. Now, ICG, Indian Coast Guard of India, of course, has an agreement with the Coast Guards of Philippines and Vietnam both, that we will enhance maritime cooperation and security. Joint military exercises are also taken place between these countries under this agreement, so that it gives a message to China that South China Sea is not yours. Okay, and the foreign minister has supported Philippines sovereignty and its dispute resolution with respect to the South China Sea. We are with Philippines and other countries who actually do have a say in the South China Sea, basic understanding of it. India has supported enhancing cooperation with Philippines, especially in which sectors? Defense and security sector. The External Affairs Minister has said of India that in 1982, when United Nations Conventions on the Laws of the Sea, when it said that a proper basic legal definition is there, what are the laws of the sea, why is China not following it? China should follow it. I have already told you about the South China Sea through the map, so we are just skipping this, but let's talk about the importance for India. What is the importance for India? I have already told you 55% of trade passes through it. 55% of trade passes through this region. From the perspective of security, if China becomes powerful in this region, it will hamper the security of other countries. Done. Then we have exploration of minerals, exploration of fisheries, fishery sector and minerals. It is very important. That is why what is India doing? India is trying to maintain its presence through Quad. India is trying to maintain its presence through Quad. What is Quad? Quad is an informal security or dialogue mechanism which comprises of Japan, USA, Australia and India. What is its mandate? It wants a free and open Indo-Pacific. Free and open Indo-Pacific. And because South China Sea is a marginal Indo-Pacific region, is a marginal sea of the Western Pacific region, then also we mean that we have to, thank you so much Neeru, how are you? Thank you Utkarsh. Then only we have to understand, because it is a marginal area of the Western Pacific region, because it is a region of the Western Pacific Ocean, and Quad wants to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. That is why India has the understanding that we need to safeguard this region as well. Moving on, let's talk about concerns from China's expansion. First of all, there are many things that China has done that we are becoming more and more concerned about its presence in the South China Sea. In 1999, under the pretext of promoting that we are going to do sustainable fishing, China is not letting other countries to fish over there. It has also taken certain legal actions. Certain laws were mandated by China. Legal actions, when we talk about Coast Guard law, it promulgated a law, China promulgated a law in 2021 that enables the Chinese Coast Guards to use its weapon against any individuals or nations that are infringing upon the jurisdiction of China. China says that entire South China Sea is ours, and we have a law. If you are going to enter into our seas and give, do something which is not relevant from our perspective, we can use weapons against you. So this is very aggressive in nature. Proxy warfare it is doing. Proxy warfare, what does it mean? When any country with another country is not directly involved in war, but indirectly involved in war by supporting certain regions, regional militants or regional terrorists, that you harm the other individual or organization on my behalf. That is proxy war, and it is being seen by both China and Philippines. China and Philippines and Vietnam, these countries are actually, with the help of their coast guards, doing proxy wars in that region. Okay, moving on, questions there have been raised over maritime diplomacy. Diplomacy is being tried. Even ASEAN in 2002 tried to develop a code that what can we do actually to restore balance in the South China Sea. How and what the code of conduct should be maintained. But China is not happy with it. China says the entire South China Sea is ours. How can we, how can we take care of something that is already ours? We do not need a code of conduct. There is USA military involvement because of Taiwan. Because of, remember that. Now, this is another very important aspect that USA says, that we understand that Taiwan, Republic of China, China is People's Republic of China, Taiwan is Republic of China. They say that Taiwan is actually a part of China. This is fine, but Taiwan should not be included in China by any sort of force. But Taiwan shouldn't be or shouldn't become a part of China by force. This should be done in a democratic manner, but democratically, because actually Taiwan, according to certain agreements, is considered a part of China only. But the problem is that it shouldn't be controlled forcefully, but only democratically. The system should be autonomous for it. There are efforts that have been done to resolve the dispute, but the dispute remains. Disputes such as United Nations Conventions on the Laws of the Sea, dispute settlement mechanism. Here, Philippines was very upset with China's control over the South China Sea. So, Philippines went to the United Nations Conventions on the Laws of the Sea dispute settlement system. In 2016, a ruling came by Permanent Council of Arbitration, and this Permanent Council of Arbitration says that there is no legality over the claims of China when it comes to the 9-dash line map. It clearly says that the 9-dash line map is absurd. it shouldn't be used to claim any sort of sovereignty by China over the South China Sea. And China says that we do not care. Whatever you say, it doesn't comes into our mind, gets into our mind, because we do not care about it. India's stance on the dispute, what does it? ASEAN's role, I have already told you, it wants a code of conduct to settle disputes. But there is no legality, as in if any resolution has been given to this dispute, there is no legality on how it will be abided by. So this is a big problem. India's stance is that it wants free, open and rules-based order. That means these countries should have certain guidelines. If any dispute is there, these countries should at least expect to resolve the dispute with certain guidelines. But this has not been done. Free, open and rules-based order, it wants to make South China Sea free of any one country domination. This is what it wants to do. No country should dominate in the South China Sea, be it China, be it Vietnam, be it Philippines, be it the USA. Alright, let's move on and talk about challenges in resolving the dispute. First of all, there are so many countries that have claims over the region. We do not have any geographical bondage, that we do not have any sort of map, any sort of demarcation that this region belongs to China, that region belongs to Vietnam. There is no such kind of thing. Other is that there is not even a single mechanism that has been agreed upon various parties to the dispute. Vietnam says, Philippines says that we are abiding by the Permanent Arbitration Council. China doesn't want it. ASEAN says that we will have our own code of conduct for the parties to the dispute. China says, I do not want it. China says that it doesn't actually recognize the internationalization of the issue. China says that this issue should be regional in nature. But India says, why? You make Kashmir an international issue, I will make the South China Sea also an international issue. There are historical complexities as well, because so many countries actually emerged from China itself. The culture of China is such that it gave birth to other countries. It was divided in such a manner, for example, Taiwan. So that is why we have historical complexities as well. But we are interested in the region, so we can of course go for internationalization. What can India do over here? We can internationalize this issue. First, that because this is what China does to us, we can internationalize the issue by bringing it to the UN time and again. First, that. Second, we can do military exchanges and exercise. Military exchanges and exercises. We can also do what? We can do comprehensive coordination with countries such as Philippines and Vietnam in exploration of minerals. We can use ASEAN as a platform, to counter Chinese presence. Or domination. We can become a part of AUKUS as well. AUKUS, IPEF, Quad. These all give a platform to India to enhance its presence in the South China Sea. Let's move on and talk about a practice question. Please, those of you who are watching, make sure that you answer this question well. Come on, you can do it. Which of the following statement explains the 10 dash line? It is a line representing China's claims in the South China Sea. Recently, China also came up with a 10 dash line map. It is dividing line between Southeast Asia and Animal Kingdom of Australia. It is dividing line between North Korea and South Korea. It is a patrolling post located in Ladakh, India, and China, which claims it. So you have to tell me in the comment segment the correct answer to this. This is the last question for today. Tomorrow I will come again at 8:30 to 9:30. We will conduct your current affairs class. Please answer this question. The 10-dash line which China recently came up with is actually a map through which China claims the whole of the South China Sea. So it is a line representing China's claim in the again tomorrow at 8:30. Make sure you watch this on a daily basis so that you are very well abreast with current affairs. Thank you so much everyone. See you again.